Stream. I'm always trying to make it fresh and exciting in the beginnings of the streams instead of boring as a start. I want to grip you guys right away with all this technology and stuff that we have. So welcome everybody to the stream. Happy Saturday. Let me put some background music in here quick. Let me turn this down so it's not so loud. Everybody can hear me fine. Everything's going well. I actually got red from doing that. I was moving so fast, but I like to make it fun. Like I said, something a little different to change things up. I don't know why chat's not loading here on my thing here. Let me see why that is. Is it loading now? There we go. I think I got it. Let me type in here and see. I can see all your guys' chats on the screen though, so that works out. One of you guys could just type and chat there so I can see. Perfect. Everything's working. Awesome. So I have a bunch of different AI announcements and things to go over. There's a couple of really cool things. What, Milo? Sorry, my corgi always seems to want to talk to me when I'm talking to you guys. I don't know why that is, but that's just the way he rolls. So yeah, I have a bunch of AI announcements that I'm going to go through. Let me get this timer off the screen. We don't need that anymore. There we go. We're going to go through a bunch of different AI announcements and things that have happened, new AI news that might benefit you guys. I'll go over why I think it's exciting and why you should be sharing it with everybody and utilizing it yourself. And then we're also going to go into using a couple of tools as well. There's one specific tool that I've talked about a little bit called Leonardo, and they actually just came out with character consistency, which is such a huge part of making AI movies, AI commercials, all this AI stuff. So I've been messing around a little bit with their character consistency and style consistency, and it's been pretty awesome. I would say it's just as good as Midjourney's without, if you're in a situation that you want to make everything on your phone, now you kind of have that possibility even with consistent characters. So with that said, I'm gonna switch over here. Let me see. We'll go top screen. And I figured out, let me switch here. Everybody can see that fine, right? I'll turn this music down a little bit more. So this tool is brand new and they've been teasing it for a while. It's not completely out yet. It's called Showrunner, right? Let me see here. And basically what this tool allows you to do is create a whole entire show from scratch. It's basically, imagine it like Netflix, but for any idea you have, right? So they have a early access going on right now. I signed up, but I haven't gotten in it yet. But it allows you to do all different kinds of things. Let me mute this music here. I'll show you guys a trailer. Pretty cool. So they, believe it or not, it takes a prompt, right, and turns it into a whole show. So if you have a certain style of something that you want to watch, you just put in all these prompts and then keep asking for more episodes. And I knew this would happen at some point, but here's a little example. It's kind of like South Park a little bit because they played around with that earlier on. This is supposed to be satirical.
A distant land that once brimmed with human genius.
This is all made by AI, so it's getting there. It's not,
and garage geniuses alike.
It's not the best, right?
More valuable for them.
But it's so crazy that all this whole thing was just made with an AI prompt, right?
Silicon Valley. We're going to learn about the history of how a little valley became the tech mecca of the world, long before the big greed.
So obviously this is going to mess up a lot of animators quite a bit, because right now, even currently, there's a lot of different systems that exist at like certain places, like South Park Studios, if you know anything about South Park. And these tools already allow them to like drag and drop and make episodes of South Park pretty quickly. That gives them like I think they have like a 5 or 6 day turnaround time for their episodes, which is nuts if you know anything about animation. So they've been posting on here, and they posted a little bit of stuff. There was this thing that they did a while back called the simulation, which is pretty interesting. And they use South Park as an example. So believe it or not, these are all AIs. Here's how this works, right? Every single one of these characters is an AI. And they're living in this simulation. And you can add more and stuff, and they all have their personalities. And this is where I was saying like video games are going to go, and a bunch of other mediums. So look, Cartman heard of the Screen Actors Guild strike. So he's writing a prompt right now to simulate this story. And all that's going to happen is it's going to create it, right?
I'm glad you asked, Kenny. Just ridiculous. Well then, I guess you guys won't want to cut of the profits when Queepy takes off.
It's just going to keep getting better and better though, but this is insane. One of the things that they showed too was this. It's called just the simulation. Every single one of these people you see in this city right here, believe it or not, is AI. And this is living inside of a computer in real time. So the way that they were saying it is as people like create shows and create things, those AIs will like live in this showrunner world and have crossover episodes with like other people's
Aurora.
TV shows.
Currently in
which is kind of interesting, right? So this is like a new tool that could go all different kinds of ways. I'm interested to play around with it. Obviously, it's like some of this shit is not like it's not great. I wouldn't say it's at like the level that I would like go into it and actually try to use it for something myself, right? If you had an animated, like back in the day, right? There's certain, we could see previews maybe here of this one. Check out the car one.
Hi there, Blue?
Hello, Green. How did you know my name?
I, might have scanned your license plate and, cross-referenced it with my online data logs. Sorry, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
No,
I know,
not
it's
weird at
scary.
all. Quite innovative, actually.
Hey, you know, my owner talks to me sometimes.
Oh my...
Now.
You know what, Green? I think they just...
You know, could you imagine, right? Like, Buddy's Place, for example, you want to do like episodes and stuff. Could you imagine how easy it would be, and how like I was even sharing with you and that channel in particular, I was sharing how, listen, if it's like complicated right now to make AI stuff, because you have to go through all these different processes to make it, eventually it's going to be at a place where you can just put in the prompts and kind of like edit it from there. And like the last time I was on here, I was showing a little bit of LTX stuff on Memorial Day, and this is just brand new since then, right? So this would be like the next step where it's kind of like AI, way more AI guided, way less you guided. So then it's more like, okay, just give us prompts. We'll take it from there. As you saw, like they have all different kinds of stuff. So the website is Showrunner XYZ. I'll post that in chat here. If you guys want to go sign up for the beta or something along those lines, go for it. One of the next things I have to show that I find really, really cool, and this is one of those things that AI is significantly helping with based off of the things that you deal with, right? So in the future, of course, we'll be wearing AI. We're going to be wearing glasses that have AI in them, or all these different kinds of things. This will basically translate your voice into sign language, but it also works the other way in translating what sign language they're giving to a voice for you to listen to. So it's incredible, because now it's almost like, okay, now we're bridging the gap between, it's funny how the fingers on some of these are actually. I saw 6 there for a second. But yeah, this will allow us to like basically communicate and talk with people that are deaf and understand their sign language without knowing sign language. Like AI will be able to understand it from your glasses and say, they're saying this to you, or they're saying that to you. So if you have someone that's hearing impaired or somebody that's dealing with this stuff, of course, they're going to have more of this for auditorial stuff for people that are blind. It just keeps getting better and better with more of this technology. And I just find it like fascinating how it doesn't even like, we always factor in the ways that it will benefit us, right? Like we'll factor in and go, okay, as AI hits this point, it'll help me medically, or when it hits this point, it'll help me creatively or financially. But I love to see the different aspects of life that it helps out with that I'm not more involved in, like that, because it just kind of gives you more of an overall perspective, especially when you share this stuff with other people, like an overall perspective of how it's going to help the world, right? And help us all grow closer and more connected to one another. So if someone was like struggling with sign language, you used to speak sign language with your sister. Yeah. So, you know, one of the issues that people that deal with hearing impairments is that, right? Like being able to communicate with others. Sometimes they'll have to use a drawing, you know, a writing pad or something to communicate. In the future, they'll be able to communicate with their hands at the same fluid motions as speech and communicate that to us, which is like such a huge, you know, barrier no longer existing between the communication of people, the hearing impaired, and the people that are not, which is really, really cool. Because obviously the next step of that is to find some type of transplant, ear transplant or something like that. Not a whole ear or anything like that. That's crazy. But more so just like a piece of technology that you could put in the eardrum to fix some of the issues that arise with that. So another big announcement that I saw, I know some of you on this stream and people that watch it use Canva. Canva just did like a huge Canva Create event, right? And in that event, they announced like 19 new updated AI features that you'll be able to use, which is nuts. Everything from text to graphics. So now you can just say an earth surrounded by plants and hearts, right? And it will generate a bunch and you just drag it, drop it, boom, right on there. Easy. You got other things like highlights. You can add certain highlights and auto trim certain videos now. So it says instantly generate snappy clips using their AI from your footage when editing videos. It's good with content repurposing. I'll link this whole entire thing in here. I don't use Canva a lot personally myself. I'm more of a Photoshop guy, but they have so many different things that this guy took the time to put in here. So transform any design into a personal document. Magic grab, you could grab anyone out of a picture and move them. Something you can do in Photoshop. Different styles. Magic write, so you can like generate different text and stuff based off of what you're trying to say. Enhanced voice for your videos. This is something that's in Premiere. Of course, they got layouts, bulk create, AI tech integrations. So I'm not going to go through all of those, but pretty interesting stuff if you're a Canva user. I know that Canva is trying to compete with Adobe and stuff, the other platforms, as far as being useful with AI features. So definitely check that stuff out if you're using it for your channel or you're using it for your content or anything like that. It might benefit you quite a bit to go through and see. Yeah, CapCut too. I know that they're always adding new AI features. This is a big announcement. So if you guys know anything about Sora, right? Like the big, let me just pull it up, right? The big OpenAI video model that basically can take a text prompt and turn it into a full length video, even to the point of like whole commercials, crazy different kinds of stuff. So here's an example of some of these. And these are all AI generated, right? Excuse me. These are all AI generated. So each and every one of these, you can even do different styles and stuff. Just blew everybody's minds when it initially got announced, because even Hollywood like took a gulp because they're going, oh shit, like here we go. This is kind of the thing. Like, look at this photorealistic close-up video of two pirate ships battling each other as they sail inside a cup of coffee. Does not look bad at all, right? And you know, I've talked a lot about this tool and how exciting it is. Believe it or not, I think they said the release date for this will be probably by the end of the year. I think they want to release it after the presidential election in the United States. Obviously, you can see reasons why. Like, look, this woman's reflection is in the glass when it drives by. It's like someone shot a video, right? Except it's AI. So, of course, Google's not going to just allow OpenAI to create a tool so significant to so many people without competing. So now they have their own generation model, VO, gives more control over camera and stuff. And VO, believe it or not, is somewhat kind of available in beta to a certain extent. Now, just like a lot of Google's tools, I feel like it's like heavily regulated, which is a concern I have with Sora as well, that say you want to make a film that is a horror film or something that may have violence in it, or may have suggestive themes, something that, you know, stuff that you have to, you'd be on a Google list for if you're Googling to write up a story or something like that, like something Stephen King would come up with, right? Good example. Might be hard to create with Sora, because Sora would be like, sorry, I can't make The Shining, right? Like, it's too violent. So then that kind of like limits the level of creativity and creative ability you might have with your stories. I'm going to assume that like Google's going to be even more the case with that. But this was generated by VO is what they're calling it. Here's another one by VO. So you can see, like, obviously pretty competitive with the model over at OpenAI. And of course we'll have to see based off of how long. All of these videos are about 8 seconds. So 8 seconds really isn't that long. Most video editors, like everything I'm seeing here, even though it looks really, really good, I feel like I could pull off currently with what we have available. So it'll be interesting to see, but if you want to use Video FX, I think it's on Labs by Google. Let me find that link for you guys. Yeah, they have it in the AI test kitchen. I think you have to join the wait list or something. Here's a link to that. But if you join the wait list for this, you'll be able to use some of their tools. They have a decent amount. So this is Video FX. What are they forcing me to do here? They have Image FX, which is already available in here. This is just their image generator, right? I'll just click on Feeling Lucky. Let's see what happens. This is free though, you know? So this is conceptual illustration of a robotic hummingbird pollinating a field of glowing neon flowers. I mean, that did decent, pretty good, I would say. And so if you're looking for kind of a free tool, that might be one. I know they have music effects in here as well. I haven't really played around with this. We'll see if it does like decent music, because I have some updates on some music tools here in a minute as well. We'll let that generate music while we move on. This is an interesting tool for like, oh, let's listen. Good music to put behind a video, right? Like if you're shooting a tutorial or something and putting it on YouTube or doing like a short, I feel like that's the perfect kind of music to just like sit in the background of one of those videos. So highly recommend it. Hey, how's it going, Dad? I actually think this tool, I'm glad you're here, because this is a tool that I was gonna like show you because I just found it today. But this tool is called Guide. Magically create stunning training material with AI. So believe it or not, this is an extension that you get for your Chrome browser, and you click the start button. I'm going to go down to this guy's video here.
Let's see how it's done over Freshdesk. So here I am, and I'm going to start my capture. And this is, you can see Magic Capture is on, and I'm going to pick what.
Just go to his full video here.
Pick what I want to capture, which is knowledge and documentation, and simply start my process. So here I am. I'm going to do creation of a new company. Let's give it a name.
You skip this here
and create the company, and you get to our knowledge base that has.
All right. So what it's supposed to do, right, is you basically click this little guide icon at the top that you get. It's a little like extension, right? And you go through your whole entire process of the tutorial you want to do. And this, like, you can see all the companies in here: Yahoo, IKEA, Live Nation. I mean, a lot of very big companies are already using this tool. But basically you go, okay, I want to capture what I'm doing. Click start capturing. AI watches what you're doing and creates a whole storyline of events of what you're doing, right? You're not voicing it over. You're not doing any of that. And then when you get to the end of it, you click, I want to pick this voice in 100 different languages. And the AI is going to take everything that it just saw and create a whole entire guide for you to upload. Isn't that fucking nuts? So like, imagine you're trying to show somebody how from step 1 to step done to do something. You would just click the button, do it, and then hit done, and then pick a voice, and the AI then would take all the information of what you just did and make a piece of content out of it for you to share with people. So it's like, okay, I'm a little scared to sit in front of the camera and like do a video myself or do this or that. Or I have something really quick that just came out and I want to show people. You can share the guides like anywheres. So this is called Guide. I'm going to post that in chat here and you can check that out as well. But crazy tool. I actually haven't used it yet because I just learned about it right after we got off the AMA earlier. So definitely check that tool out. Another update, Telegram is getting Copilot. If you guys don't know what Copilot is ChatGPT basically for Windows. Copilot is going to be built into probably every single Windows machine and Windows moving forward. So now it's going to be in Telegram. So they've partnered with Copilot, Telegram has, and so now in the future, you will be able to, believe it or not, talk to GPT and pull up ChatGPT right inside of any Telegram message that you're in. So Dad, this might be useful for you, right? Because if you're like, if someone's like, how do I do so-and-so? Then you just do a @ sign in chat and go @ Copilot official bot, and then ask it a question and it will appear in chat just like the Meta bot does now, and say, hey guys, this is how you do this thing. Here's the links to figure that out. So now if you're in a chat and you're like, I don't know how to do this thing, or someone's asking, you could just @ the Copilot bot and boom, ChatGPT is now talking in Telegram with you. Pretty awesome. There's this clip that I shared around a little bit. I think that like the current of people hating on AI is starting to shift in the opposite direction. I in so many ways, I've watched filmmakers and creatives and a bunch of other people kind of like dog on this technology like people have with other technologies of the past, right? It's like, okay, CGI is here. I'm using a green screen right now. These were used on, now you got volume. So there's so much stuff out there. And there's so much new pieces of technology being developed to tell stories and to create things. But with that, there's been such a pushback on, I don't want to see anything AI generated. I don't want to do anything with AI. Boycott AI. Like it's putting people out of work or whatever it may be. I'm on the opposite end. It's an inevitability. You're about to hear this from George Lucas. It's an inevitability. Boycotting technology is like arguably one of the dumbest things I think you could do. I think the smartest thing that you can do is hop on board with a new piece of technology as soon as possible and kind of get on board with it. And that's why you guys are listening to me, right? So I can kind of share some of that stuff that I've seen with you guys and kind of get you up to speed on certain things. So we're going to watch this clip real quick because I find it fascinating. So George Lucas is going to talk here for a minute about artificial intelligence.
Hi, this is George Lucas.
This is 10 minutes long. I don't want the 10-minute one. I'll find a shorter one.
And then I went off.
This whole interview, by the way, is great.
Stories they're telling are just old movies. Let's have an imagination. It's impossible.
Of Marvel movies as cinema.
Marty and cinema took analog movies. You couldn't tell it what there was. Actors have come around, and now it's almost all digital. And I said, it makes.
At what point in here, I'll find it because there's a specific part that he talked about just AI,
and you're watching.
Which I find fascinating. I can find the clip specifically in chat here. I always put on like waiting music or something. Do.
about AI, the use of artificial intelligence in this industry
Here we
today?
go.
Well,
How do you feel about AI, the use of artificial intelligence in this industry today?
well, we've been using it for 25 years.
Sure.
And it's not AI, but we use all the digital technology because we pioneered a lot of that, especially at ILM, because for a while they were the only place that was doing digital. But the thing of it is that it's inevitable. I mean, it's like saying, I don't believe these cars are going to work. Let's just stick with the horses. Let's just stick with the horses. And you say, yeah, you can say that, but that isn't the way the world works.
Exactly. So it's interesting because the more blowback and the more that I've talked about AI, I actually at one point, if you guys have like kind of followed my journey with AI, you might have noticed a moment in time in that journey over the last couple of months where I kind of got discouraged. And that was because I started to share some of the stuff that I made, and I kind of got a little blowback about it. You know, basically it's like, oh, this is AI. It's not made the realistic way, as if editing something together and creating all the shots and doing the sound effects and putting all that stuff together in the music. It doesn't make it a creative art form. Right. And I showed you guys earlier how Showrunner will just be able to just allow you to just make something to watch yourself. But there's always going to be that hunger for more creative freedom, having more creative abilities. So I love hearing what George Lucas is saying, and this is kind of being echoed in some other spots. It was interesting. If any of you guys know The Last of Us, it's a show that's on Max or HBO or whatever the fuck they call that nowadays. Great show, highly recommend watching it, but it's based off of a video game. And the guy that directed the video game, made the video game, all that stuff, recently did an interview too. And in that interview, he talked about how amazing it will be to tell stories in the future with a lot less people using AI to just do like motion capture. Now they don't need huge sound stages. It can motion capture somebody without any tech, like with a phone in their house. They could record on any microphone, and it can not only clean up the audio, but get rid of audio in the background. You could have a kid yelling in the background, and AI can get rid of the voice of the kid in the background. So it's like insane. You know what I mean? Just how many different elements and stuff exist. But when Neil Druckmann, the guy, did this interview, yeah, I know, Dad, but when he did this interview, it got released, and the blowback, you guys, the people that were talking shit, and he had to like not suspend. He had to get off Twitter because there was so many people dogging on him saying, don't bring any AI into video games. You're ruining video games. You're making everything worse. People are going to lose their jobs. All these things are going to happen, as if like this isn't inevitable, right? As if this shit isn't like forecasted very easily in the future. Like it's easy to see, even from the links that I've showed you guys today, it's easy to see, right? And go, oh shit, this is obviously going to go a direction that they're not looking forward to, right? So I wanted to show you guys that George Lucas clip just because I believe it's super useful and helpful to have people that are really, really big creative people. Like George Lucas is an incredibly creative guy, regardless of what you think about him. And to have him go, hey, listen, I was first there with green screens. I was first there with CGI. I was first there with all these things. And I'm telling you, AI is by far the next piece of technology that's going to revolutionize and change filmmaking and everything like that. And I had this one clip that I actually want to go into and show you guys, that I just have saved to remind myself of a couple of things here. Let me see.
To me, the great hope is that...
Oop.
To me,
Yeah, I don't know how loud this will be. Or if you guys will be able to see it. Let me see here.
To me, the great hope is that now these little 8mm video recorders and stuff are coming around. Some just people who normally wouldn't make movies are going to be making them, and you know, suddenly one day some little fat girl in Ohio is going to be the new Mozart, you know, and
Ignore the fat girl comment. That's mean.
the great hope is that now these little 8mm video recorders and stuff are coming around. Some just people who normally wouldn't make movies are going to be making them, and you know, suddenly one day some little fat girl in Ohio is going to be the new Mozart, you know, and make a beautiful film with her little father's camera recorder. And for once, the so-called professionalism about movies will be destroyed forever, you know, and it'll really become an art form.
Exactly.
That's my opinion.
So even, you know, George Lucas has said this too, and he says this in that interview, similarly, but he asks, well, what is cinema, right? Because Martin Scorsese has said, and he said in this one video, that Marvel movies are not cinema. They're not film per se. They're more like amusement rides, right? You're not really getting like substance out of them. You're just kind of there along for the ride, and then you get off the ride and you're like, that was a great ride, right? Can't wait for the next one. And that was his comment. And of course, there's some people that disagree with that. Some people that heavily agree with that like hate Marvel movies and stuff like that. But that also was kind of a comment that ruffled people up. And it's interesting because even in the same interview, he talks about how he's even talked with Martin Scorsese since then, and how Martin Scorsese has been slowly but surely changing his mind. Because one of the things that I think he says that's so important in this, and the guy that I just showed you that said that was George Lucas's mentor, Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, it's just moving pictures, right? Like a film is a cinema or a film is just a bunch of moving visual pictures to tell a story. Regardless if you make that stuff in your computer, shoot it on a camera, shoot it on your phone, anything like that. If you put it all together and make something that you're proud of and show to people, that is film. That's cinema. It could be 10 minutes long, 100 minutes long, whatever long you want it, about any subject matter you want to. And I love that, because I love that idea that up until this moment in time, if you're an actor and you wanted to be in film, you basically had to, you had to audition. There's a lot of other shit that you had to do. You had to jump through a bunch of hoops and do all this stuff, right? And if you wanted to direct, it was similar. You'd have to like write a script. You'd have to pitch it around. It had to be financially feasible for the people that are involved. The people that are not creative, they want to make money. It's more of like a financial endeavor for them and not a creative one, which means if there's any forms of blowback creatively, you're probably going to lose. And you'll hear people, even George Lucas will say this, but a lot of people, Coppola, the guy that I showed you before, his mentor, quit making movies. And recently just funded his own film for like $150 million. Maybe you guys have drank his wine, but Francis Ford Coppola directed like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now and stuff. But he just basically funded his own movie, because at this point he's like, this is the movie I want to make my whole life. I can't make it because no studio will fund it. No studio will put the time and energy into it. And that's just been going on for all these years. And he's made some of the best movies ever made. Like I would say The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, especially Godfather 1 and 2, top 10 best films like ever made, right? And so to think that that guy can make those films and not get shit made it's nuts, right? Like he basically has done interviews and said, I got into the wine business because I knew if I wanted to be creative in the film business in the way that he wanted to be, that he would have to use it as a hobby and not a business, because it just was not easy to make money. So going back to what I was saying, you had to jump through all these fucking like hoops over and over and over again for these non-creative people so you can get your creativity made. Then you're working with all this money, all these people, all of this stuff. You're going, I just wanted to make something creatively. And now I have to be an extrovert. I have to be a leader. I have to be, the amount of hats you have to wear, even once you've gotten it to that point, which is a miracle. Yeah, Godfather is so good, but it's a miracle, right? To even get any film made. and to star in one especially, right? Because they're going to pick people that they think will bring people into the seats or rent to make them more money, because they need to make money back. This is a business, right? It's not a creative business. So since that's happened, movies I think have progressively gotten, I'd say, bigger with less substance, I would say. Not to say that the Marvel movies don't have substance. I would just say that it's the same similar substance, like over and over and over again, right? You know, going above and beyond. I still think Spider-Man is like, I grew up with the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. I still think those are some of the best superhero movies as far as like saying a message, right? So since that's the case, and it's been a pain in the ass for anybody to get anything made, everything Coppola said there is true and is going to happen now. We thought it would happen with the 8mm cameras. It didn't, because guess what? You can go through and spend all your own money. You can do all the shit that you want, write it, direct it, find the actors, have your friends work with you in it. And then what's your next step, right? How do people see this? I can either upload on YouTube, and if I have no following, then 30 people will watch it. So now I have to build a following, right? I have to have a social presence. I have to sell it at a film festival to one of these studios who might they might buy it. Here's the shitty thing that happens. Because human beings are human beings, say there was a huge dispute between the heads of Warner Brothers and the heads of Disney or something. They go to this film festival together, the Sundance Film Festival, and they see a film there. And they see that Warner Brothers is bidding it up to buy it, to distribute it, right? And Disney goes, well, they screwed us over on that deal 2 years ago. Let's just buy it out from under them. We have pretty much infinite money. Let's just go ahead and buy it out from under them. They buy it out, and then the movie quietly never goes anywhere, or quietly just gets dropped on streaming. Now nobody sees your movie. You have no rights over it. They own everything about your creative work. And this is why everybody's switching over to YouTube, right? Is it's just such a pain in the ass to get things made, especially if you want to make something new that's not the same thing, because a lot of these meetings, you have to go into them explaining to them why what you're making is similar to what they've already seen. Right? That's like how you pitch this shit. If you go in and go, this is something brand new, they're going to say no. Right? You have to say this, and this, and that. So you have to also be like a business person, right? This is where it comes in handy to be someone like James Cameron. There's this old story. James Cameron directed like the Avatar movies, Titanic, Terminator, and then the movie that I'm going to talk about now, which is Aliens. And basically to pitch Aliens to Fox, 20th Century Fox, he went in and basically there was this big whiteboard and he just wrote Alien on the whiteboard, which was a movie that Ridley Scott had directed. It's a great film in and of itself. And then at the end, he wrote an S and put strikes through it to make it a $sign. And he's like, this is why we should make the movie. And they're like, we'll green light it. Because it's like, well, this dude made Terminator, right? So let's let him make Aliens, which is also really amazing. So that all worked out, but it just goes to show James Cameron knows how to speak their language, right? If he would have went in and said, here's all the ideas that I have for Alien. I want Ridley to do this, and I want this to be that, and this is the big conflicting event that's going to happen in the film and everything. They probably would have been like, unless if we know that it's going to make a bunch of money, right? They probably still would have said yes, because it's James Cameron, but he just knows not to waste his breath, right? Don't waste his breath with those people. They don't really give a shit about what creatively you're trying to do. Yeah, old movies are coming back. I think a lot of people too, like you'll see certain new modern filmmakers, my own age, like millennial filmmakers, and you'll see a lot of influence from like the 70s or 80s era of films, like the stuff that Martin Scorsese and Coppola made, and Brian De Palma and like a bunch of these other people, because at that moment in time, it was just that freedom kind of existed. I think that there's been certain times in cinema where there has been kind of like an open door for new creative ideas. And I would say that like the 70s and the 80s had some of that, especially the 70s. You had things like Taxi Driver and all these other different movies. I could go on and on, right? And then I would say the 90s was another time, the early 90s and stuff. That's when we get people like Paul Thomas Anderson with Boogie Nights and Quentin Tarantino with Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. So there's been reinventions of film in multiple different areas, whether it's like, oh, now it's going to be more violent. It's going to be more romantic. Like I saw somebody comment not too long ago and say that romantic thrillers or sexual thrillers used to be like a big deal, right? Like Fatal Attraction was one. There's so many, right? Like Basic Instinct, all these films existed and people were making them consistently. And then once that had kind of run its course, and they just moved on to the next thing. It's like Westerns or whatever, right? Because it's like a business. Okay, they're tired of that. Let's give them this. And then streaming kind of changed all that because now you can kind of have whatever you want. It's based off of an algorithm. Still kind of the same situation though, except worse in some ways, right? Because if you want somebody like Netflix to promote your movie, say they go to the film festival, the Sundance, and they buy your movie, right? If you want Netflix to promote it, good luck. Good fucking luck. Unless if you're somebody that actually has something behind them, Netflix will put your movie up on Netflix, put it nowhere's on the front page and go, you tell people about it. Go ahead. Like we're not gonna publicize it too much. We're just gonna dump it on streaming and then maybe some people will watch it and some people won't. And that sucks, right? Because now you're like I went through all this effort to get this made and now no one's gonna see it once again. And then once again, Netflix owns the rights, they bought it. So you're not even in a place where you could go bring it to somebody else that could maybe get more views on it. You can kind of tweet about it or talk about it if you want, but that's kind of the only thing you can do. So with what Coppola said, I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, but this is my my stream, so I'm gonna rant away. But what he said is so fucking true now. We're going into a space very soon where some of the best films, some of the best shows, some of the best things that you've seen in different areas, music, all this stuff, will come out of these savants that are in rural areas, different countries, all different kinds of things, because now we're not even in a space where language will be a barrier because AI can change a voice from one language to another. So now your story, and YouTube will have these tools in the future where you'll basically just click on the bottom and say, I want this in Spanish, and it will just change the whole video into Spanish, right? Of course, Google's going to put those tools into YouTube. So in the future, while you're uploading your show, your movies that you've made, whatever you make onto YouTube and getting the ad revenue for it or whatever it may be, now anyone can watch it, anyone can share it, and now you have the virality of it, right? Now you have the ad revenue from YouTube. Now you have the subscriptions from YouTube, the donations and everything like that. By the way, if you want to donate to this stream, donation link below in the description. But I cannot wait for that moment because I feel like there's going to be so many brand new, incredibly creative people. I know some people are in this chat that are going to be this way. Yeah, Tyler Perry took one look at Sora and went, I'm done building my $800 million studio. That's absolutely right, Deborah, because he looked and saw, oh man. And like, see, this is the thing. When you have a positive mindset instead of a negative one, shit like this is exciting, right? I don't think Tyler Perry saw it and went, fuck, man. I think he went into it and went, wow, now we really can create any story we want and create them en masse. And I already have built the distribution network for those things. He is in a perfect position for this. Perfect position for this. But maybe you're not Tyler Perry. Maybe you don't have $1 billion and haven't built a career, right? I'm definitely not. So how do I get my stuff out there? Great, we have YouTube now, right? And YouTube now has developed more and more tools to monetize your content, whether it's subscriptions, whether it's donations or any of those things. And you can even do premieres now. So when I create my short films that you guys will see me create on here, you'll see me premiere them on the channel and you'll see everybody watching it all together. It will be a communal experience and it won't be paid, you know, like it won't be, what is that called? Paywalled, right? Like people won't actually be stuck unable to watch it. Anyone will be able to watch it and that will increase the virality of it, increase the views, increase the ad revenue, donations, all of those different things. And I feel like we're so far moving in that direction that if I create something that moves people or inspires them, they'll have no problem giving me a donation to create the next thing that will move or inspire them, or the next thing that's on my mind. Right. And so my goal is to create a platform, not just for myself, but then also to be like, this person has a great story. Let's lift them up and get them that stuff. Because not everyone's going to want to sit in front of the camera and talk like I am and build an influence to promote things. So yeah, I know a lot of film stuff has moved over to Atlanta, which is pretty cool. You know, I'm all for it. LA having a kind of surplus on that stuff is stupid anyway. So rant over. Thanks for listening to my rant about film and where it's going. I am so fucking excited to see what people create with all these tools. I think it's going to be excellent. Let's get back into some of the tools, shall we? So Suno is one that I've talked about a lot. Actually, I might as well do this now. This is the time in the broadcast to do something like this. If you go to infinitevariance.ai, and I'll post the link in chat here. This is my website that I'm sharing everything on. But if you go to this website, you'll always have the newest stream. This is the stream that you're watching currently. You can sign up for the email you put your email address in there, and I'll send you some stuff when we're doing a new replay or if there's anything new. And this is basically like the community of people that I'm making. You can join the community here on Discord or on Telegram. But this is where I'm showing all the resources and like trying to keep everybody up to date. I have a resources page here where you can scroll down and click on any of these, including Suno, and find any of the tools that I'm using. I also have a quick step guide down here, which I'm going to make a video for soon on how to get started on YouTube, like just making content with AI. Like I said, I want to do a whole video. I might even do the whole next live, and just you guys will see me do this video in live time. But how to start a YouTube channel from scratch and use AI to make your first video on whatever subject you want or whatever thing that you want. So yeah, go to infinitevariance.ai, check out the resources. The channel makes commissions off of some of these links. They're affiliate, some of them are affiliate links. So I always appreciate you guys donating and sharing and stuff. My goal is to utilize the funds that I grow in Infinite Variance to build out a studio space, make it more accessible for all of us to kind of tell the stories that we want. Not everybody has the budget for for a high-end computer to do motion capture, to do all these things. And so I feel like one of the barriers that will exist in the very near future is it's like, I can come up with all the AI stuff, but the stuff that's outside of AI, like performances of actors or anything, that's just out of my financial reach. It's like, great, come to this space and you can do it there, right? So that's something that I hope to do in the future. So yeah, definitely check those tools out if you're interested. Going back to Suno, I was just talking about Suno, and that's why I thought, hey, why not show the resources? So I'm going to turn here. I'm going to turn the music off. Suno has a brand new thing that just came out, right? Where you can make sound effects or music from any sound that you record anywhere, which is nuts. So I'm just going to play this video so you guys can see. So just from that beat, it was able to create that whole entire song. Now, if you are a musician, maybe you know one musical instrument. I know John Tier is somebody that's part of our community that plays an instrument already. So you might see now it's like, okay, I don't have anything, but I can make a beat. That beat is in my head. You can now feed that into Suno. Or maybe you want to play a melody on the piano and you only know the piano, but you need the rest of the song and you've got lyrics. Great. Throw the piano in there and let AI build around it. And now you have a whole entire song with your lyrics and your piano, and the rest of the instruments that play along with your piano are actually AI created. So this is basically like a step into having an AI band, right? So now in the future, I know this is coming soon. In the future, you guys, I know that Suno will eventually have the ability to play in live time with AI. I've heard that the rumors of that, but you'll be able to have a live time mic and start playing guitar, and you'll hear the AI start to play along with you with what instruments you picked in a rhythm, like you have other people there with the other instruments making music with you. And to say that that's not like, it's interesting because this is kind of going to cross the line into, holy fuck, like that's kind of organic, isn't it? But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, but it's trained on everyone else's stuff. So is it really organic? I don't know. It's one of those weird questions, right? It's like, oh, this song was made by me and ChatGPT. ChatGPT was on the vocals and on the drums and on the bass guitar. So I think that's going to be really, really cool. I can't wait to see what musicians do with this. You know, I've had beats in my own head to go along with certain videos and certain things that I want to create, right? This will help exponentially with that, because then I can even hum into the mic. Like I saw someone utilizing this earlier, just humming into the mic, the rhythm that they wanted, and then feeding that hum into Suno. And then it worked. So very, very cool. Next tool, we'll stick around. We're going to stay in audio for a minute. 11 Labs, which is another tool that I have in the resources here. Where is it? This is good for dubbing, voice cloning, custom voices. I showed it off in the very first making shit on here, or making stuff to be YouTube compliant. Is a tool that allows you to like dub your voice into a different language. It allows you to take any voice, and I showed you guys on one of the other podcasts where I cloned Walt Disney's voice, right? And then I could have Walt Disney basically say anything I want, or I could give a movement in my voice. Thanks, Buddy's Place. See you later. I can give a movement in my voice, like a performance, and then put someone else's voice to it. Believe it or not, I had Craig do a performance. That's part of our Imaginators community. I had Craig do a voice, and then I took his voice and turned it into Walt Disney's just to see what that would sound like. It kind of blew my mind. It's a little scary, a little freaky, but that's only going to get better. So very, very, very cool. So this is their brand new text to sound effects. Basically now you could type in any text and get any sound effect you want. Before, what we would have to do in these situations is use a big library of sound effects. Something like Storyblocks is something I use or used before I had this. And that would basically be like, if you guys have seen the Serpentine teaser, all the sound effects for that I got from Storyblocks. So it's like the ocean waves, or the grinding of the water hitting certain parts of the boat, or whatever it may be, right? Breathing, heavy breathing, male breathing, or something like that. Like somebody's running or something. All of that I got from Storyblocks, but all of those were very specific, and I didn't have options. Basically, for some of those sound effects, I only have one option, and I just had to make it work. I just had to play with like how the pitch was on it, or how the speed at which it was delivered. This is something I like to do anyway, but I'm very into like audio design as well. I feel like that's such a huge feeling. So I'm excited about this tool. Let's play the video, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Silence shaped the cosmos, waiting for the breath of sound to unmute our world. But now dreams can be heard, not just seen. That's right. Create any sound you can imagine. Now with a simple text prompt, You can create high-quality SFX for games, films, and so much more. So try it for yourself. Type in any prompt, hit generate, and let your visuals come to life with sound. 11 Labs sound effects are here. What will you create?
Amazing. So as you saw, my mom would love this because I was already messing with it a little bit earlier today. I'm going to practice around with it and we're going to use it next time we do a live to make something. But I was playing around with it earlier and it can make any sound effect. Believe it or not, I saw somebody post and say that they actually made a fart sound effect, which is just funny. Ooh, that was loud. Sorry about that. Now just a couple of other announcements that I have. OpenAI formed a new safety and security board. That's good. A lot of their security team left. Kind of freaked me out a little bit when you got a lot of the people that are behind making sure that this technology doesn't murder us all. They all start leaving, right? And then you're like, uh-oh, like that's not good. But looks like they were more in the conservative space with how they wanted the technology to grow, which is unfortunately not the right direction that we can take right now for multiple different reasons. Basically, if you're in a situation, what am I showing right now? I should be in the rain. There we go. If you're in a situation where you have like a nuclear bomb, right? And you're trying to build it out, it's probably the best that you have that in the hands of people that don't want to use it for bad things, right? And so as they were going through and kind of Ilya and a couple of other people left OpenAI, there was kind of like a thought in my mind, like, uh-oh, are we going down that other timeline now? Like, what's happening? But rest assured, it was more so just like, hey, if we went by Ilya and these other people's ideas of how AI should run and how quickly we should do it, we're going to lose the game to China. We're going to lose the game to other countries. And we kind of, it's one of those situations, right, where you kind of can't have China be the first one with a nuclear bomb. Like, that's probably not a good idea. At least not for us. Good for China, though. So, them having a new security board, that's fucking awesome. I'm glad. They're going to recommend all the product. You could read through this if you want. I had talked about it earlier, and I wanted to update people so you're not sitting there and maybe going, oh, Matt still thinks, what up, mom? Things are still crazy. Speaking of that, I'll play you guys this little clip here. Now, this, if you guys don't know what happened back, I think it was in November, maybe it was, Sam Altman, the guy that was let go, or he was fired from OpenAI, the CEO of OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT. And then almost the whole company is like, I'm going to resign because the board fired him. They Steve Jobs him or whatever. And a lot of the people are like, if you don't bring him back, we're going to basically resign and we're all going to quit. They ended up bringing him back, got a whole brand new board in, and haven't really heard any reason why he was fired.
Here, Sam had made it really difficult for the board to
This is why
do that job.
She basically was part of the board that got fired. So take her opinion with a grain of salt, but this is why that happened.
It really difficult for the board to actually do that job by, withholding information, misrepresenting things that were happening at the company, in some cases outright lying to the board. At this point, everyone always says, like what? Give me some examples. And I can't share all the examples, but to give a sense of sort of the kind of thing that I'm talking about, it's things like, when ChatGPT came out, November 2022, the board was not informed in advance about that. We learned about ChatGPT on Twitter. Sam didn't inform the board that he owned the OpenAI startup fund, even though he, constantly was claiming to be an independent board member with no financial interest in the company. On multiple occasions, he gave us inaccurate information about the small number of formal safety processes that the company did have in place, meaning that it was, basically impossible for the board to know how well those safety processes were working or what might need to change. And then, a last example that I can share, because it's been very widely reported, relates to this paper that I wrote, which has been, I think way overplayed in the press. The problem was that after the paper came out, Sam started lying to other board members in order to try and push me off the board. So it was another example that just like really damaged our ability to trust him, and actually only happened in late October last year when we were already talking pretty seriously about whether we needed to fire him. And so, there's more individual examples.
So basically, she's saying that what ended up happening with Sam was he was lying to the board. They learned that ChatGPT was coming out publicly from Twitter, like the board of directors over at OpenAI learned. And Elon's called out Sam a couple of times saying they're not OpenAI, they're closed AI, because the goal when he helped start OpenAI with Sam Altman was to create a place to make artificial general intelligence that would benefit all of humanity, but make it open source so anyone could build on it. And obviously they've gone a different route with it. It's closed source. We all either have to pay for it or use it inside of their system. We don't have any of the code or the weights, as they would call them, for that large language model. So we can't train it to do things that they haven't trained it to do. It's only capable of what they want it to do. So there's goods and bads to that. Very big good to that is that you don't have a kid in his garage or in his basement creating something that could unravel democracy or some shit, right? That's good. Con to that is that as models like Sora and things come out, the people that kind of have access to them first is the people at the top, which can be kind of scary, right? Because we saw this with social media. If you are at the top, you kind of can control the people that are on the network or utilizing it. So if Sam is in this place, and we've even seen this from Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook, but it's like, okay, I want ChatGPT, which will eventually be whatever you want to name it, right? And we'll all have our own versions of it that we know. But say your AI assistant, he doesn't want your AI assistant to lean in a certain political direction, or really wants it to lean in another direction when it communicates stuff to you. All they have to do is change code in that. It's closed, so nobody would know that they were doing it. And because everybody in the government has no idea at all about this technology, they're not telling anybody, and they don't have to tell anybody about it. It's exactly in the same spot as social media has been, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg could change the algorithm of Facebook to lean in a certain direction, not tell anybody. It could affect politically the landscape of whatever country Facebook is in at that current time. And they've done this. This is why he's had to be in front of Congress and Senate and things like that. And there's no oversight to that, like, and no blowback, basically. Like, it's like, okay, we'll fine them like $1 billion or $1 million or whatever. And it's like, great, that's like 1/4 of what we made this quarter. So, oh no, you know what I mean? So I think there's certain aspects to it that obviously are, I'm not going to beat up on Sam because I admire him quite a bit. I think he's just kind of in that position where he's pushing the company in a direction that he foresees it needing to go in. A lot of other people are not on board with that. That's going to happen in any company. Like Steve Jobs was let go for the same reason. He wanted to keep pushing into specific products and niche down their products, and they wanted to have more SKUs of their products. And so they got rid of him. They made more SKUs of their products. Apple started to crumble, brought him back. He took all of their products and made it just a small amount, and now they're the Apple that we know today. So, yeah, you'd think that variety would be a good thing. Not always, right? Like sometimes simplicity really helps, which is interesting because now where Apple is, they're in a space where I can't even tell you how many different versions of the iPhone exist. Like it's like iPhone 4S, X Plus, Super or some shit, right? And it's like, okay, where's Steve Jobs now? You know, like where's that now? Like there should be an iPhone Plus, and an iPhone Max, right? But they have to have the numbers, and they have to have the S's and all that stuff. So I don't know enough about it I just end up getting the phone that I think will be the best at the time. So yeah, that's the Sam Altman update. Here's another update for everybody here that uses ChatGPT. And this is a huge update, and that's why I'm saving it for last as far as the hour of updates go. I just had a bunch of shit to drop on you guys today. But custom GPTs are open for free ChatGPT users. It's not just custom GPTs. It's also analytics, vision, and memory. So basically right now, you guys, if you go make a ChatGPT account or get the OpenAI ChatGPT app on your phone, which I have in the resources here somewhere, right? OpenAI's version. Don't get any of the other apps on your phone. Always get the OpenAI version, because there's other companies that will charge you to just run it through them anyway, when it could be free. But basically, you guys, if you're not even a paying member, now have access to everything that a paid member does. So you have the ability to use vision, you have the ability to use voice, you have analytics, you have memory, so it will remember your chats. It's just as fast as the one that a paid user will use, 4.0. And the voice features, believe it or not, are coming out next week. So I'm going to be on here talking to GPT, actually. So I'm going to get the app in my computer or figure out a way, and you guys are going to watch me sit on here and talk to GPT in real time and have conversations with it. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But basically, if you're not a paying member, now you have all that stuff for free. The only difference between a paying member and a non-paying member is you're supporting the development of the ChatGPT and the technology by giving money. And then on top of that, you're getting more use out of it. So there's a certain amount that you can currently use, and then you'll have to be on like a waiting time. If you pay for it, you won't. Definitely don't cancel that. Keep your membership. Yeah. So that's kind of like all of the updates that I had. As far as AI updates go, let me switch back to this here and then kind of get rid of all my tabs here. So now I'm just going to go over one specific tool for like maybe another 15 minutes and just show you guys, and then I'll hop off. I don't want to take your whole Saturday away. That's not my plan. It's just to kind of update you guys on where technology and everything's going, how it might be able to benefit you guys out. And then from time to time, you get to see me make some shit as I'm doing this as well. But I've just been so excited to share these things with you guys. And I thought I need to split these live streams kind of into sections, right? And so I wanted at least the first hour, if I have it, to be about updating you guys on where all the technology is at this current moment as of today. And then the second half is going to be going into like a tutorial or watching me make things. So then it will give you guys, if you kind of can only stay a certain amount of time, you can get your updates and you can go. If you're interested in kind of like learning how to make some stuff like I'm doing, you can stay for that or watch that later. Or if you want to watch me make stuff that's going to eventually come out, you can just skip to that and watch me shoot the shit and make things. So with that said, I'm going to show you guys the tool here, and it is Leonardo. So you can find this tool by going to Leonardo.AI. I'll post the link in chat here. I know it's on Mac. It's unfortunate I still don't have it on PC because I have to wait for Copilot. Well, I've had like AI, but I don't have the one that watches the screen. Yes, please like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing and you want more of this stuff. So this is Leonardo. Leonardo is like a somewhat of a one-stop shop for a bunch of different things that you can do with AI. It allows you to make photos. It allows you to make videos. It allows you to do real-time drawing. So you're drawing with AI. If you have the paid versions of it, believe it or not, they have like real-time generation, which is really freaky and cool. Basically, I'll show you guys here in a minute, but it allows you to generate, like as you're typing, you're watching AI make the picture as you're typing in each word. So if you're like, I'll just show you guys later, you know, show, don't tell. That's what I've always been told. So down here, you can see a couple of the use cases. They've got like interior design in here, product photography, advertising, marketing, fashion, graphic design, concept art, game assets. There's so many different things that you can do with this. And one of the things that makes it so powerful is the free version of it is very powerful in and of itself. And you get quite a bit. You get like 150 tokens. And if you guys don't know, a lot of these AI things work off a token system where you get like a certain amount each month for a subscription. And then you spend all those and you can always buy more. Then when your subscription renews, you get more tokens, right? And this is just basically like each token counts as a somewhat of a server or an API call. So what ends up happening is every single time it's called, they get billed. They're just making a little bit more than what they're being billed off of you. This is why I said it's important for you to use OpenAI's app, because if you get any other AI apps, odds are they're just rerouting it through ChatGPT's API, and you're being charged for them being the middleman for no reason, basically, right? You're being charged extra for no reason. So just use the app. There's a couple of other things that they have. So of course they have image generation. They have an AI canvas, 3D texture generation. Haven't really played around with that yet. They have different styles. One of the cool things is they have like a whole gallery that you can see here. So this is what the back of it looks like. Let me change how big my screen is here so you guys see everything. That should be good. So on the site, you can see what other people are making. These are what's trending, and you can even go to motion. These are videos, right? So if I scroll over, you'll see videos that people have made. Very cool. But one of the cool things about this, like you could basically you could make an account. By the way, Leonardo has an app. I'm going to go over the app, but it's very, very cool. Leonardo has an app where you can do everything that you could do on the site on your phone, including generating videos, generating photos, all of that stuff, right? So yeah, you can go in here and kind of pick the different things. Like I want photography and I can see different ones. If I want to go motion, I can see photography motion stuff, right? And all of this is done on this website, on Leonardo. So you have a different couple of choices up here, but what you can do is click on anything that someone else has made and actually see what tools they use to make it, right? So I can see the prompt that they used, the prompt details. I can copy it. I have the resolution. I have what model they used, and then what the image was created in, what model. So I'm not going to go through a whole tutorial on this tool. I just wanted to show you guys how to use. Basically, you can log in, you can click image generation right away, and then I'm going to show you guys how to use the consistent character thing. And then we're going to kind of just hop off of here. I might do a little Q&A if any of you guys are interested. But you'll click at this little photo up here at the top, right? And now in the drop-down menu here, or on your phone, you'll see a couple of new things. There's character reference, content reference, and style reference. Now, style reference is going to take a picture, like say this picture that you see here, and it's going to try to use your prompt and make something that looks similar in style to this. Character reference is what we're going to be going into here in a minute, which will basically allow you to have a consistent character through your prompts. And then content reference will use the structure of a photo. So the composition. So say someone's sitting like this, right? And you want your character to be sitting like that. You could take a picture of yourself like that and then just put it in with the content reference. And then in your prompt, even you can use multiple of these. You use content reference and character reference. Have your character standing there in the same pose as you, and then throw it into motion or do whatever else. So of course, you know, these tools are going to go as far as you want to take them. Not everybody's going to put this much work into them, but you can use the character reference thing. I think I might have used up my one chance to use it, so I might actually have to upgrade to show you guys. But you basically will go in and it works similar to it works so similar to Midjourney to a certain extent. Let me just pay for this quick. They got me. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing all right? Thanks for watching. Music's so cheerful and relaxing. Yeah, you can download it on your phone too. It's just amazing. Like the amount of stuff that you can do with it. It blows my mind, honestly. Because I feel like every single time a new tool comes out, it gets easier and easier. But this tool in specific, like actually really is useful for a lot of things. Funny, I should have already been subscribed to this, but I use so many other tools that... I think that's it. I'm like trying to think of my CSV or whatever number, CCV. Be right back. Alrighty. I was off completely. Did not remember it at all. Yeah, I think one of the things that people really like take for granted when they're talking or when they're doing things, and you'll notice this a lot when you watch like television or interviews, is one of the things that people tend to just not do is have some type of thing going on to keep people's attention when you're not doing something, right? And music can be like such a great tool. I've seen so many streamers and so many people that do a lot of live content just throw some music in the background and stuff while they're talking, and it livens it up a lot. Like obviously I've taken it to a whole nother level and like made backgrounds and stuff like that, done different things, but I don't know, I'm special in that way. So this is Leonardo. Now we got our credits in here, so we're good to go. I'm gonna pull that there. Actually, I should just do it this way. We'll go like that. Boom, like that. Okay. Gotta make sure this fits. It's always funny because I feel like no matter, I do rehearse to a certain extent for all of these. Very special. Yes, he is. You guys are funny. All right, now we're ready to go. So I'm going to click on image generation, and then I can click up here and go to character reference. And now, surprise, I uploaded a picture of my beautiful wife in here. So I could use her as a character reference because I think I do actually have generations. But at one point when like AI was in its infancy, I would take my family members or my friends or pictures of them, and then I would like send them different, like I tried to do like a chibi version, if you know what that is, like an anime version of my wife. And so I took her picture and I was like trying to do that. This was like, it had to be like a year and a half ago when I first used Leonardo, because Leonardo was like one of the first. It was like there with Midjourney and stuff. So of course, Hannah, my wife, she's looking beautiful here. I don't know whose beard this is. Probably some weirdos. But I'm gonna upload a new photo. Why don't we just use me instead? I don't want to use Hannah without her permission on stream. So we're gonna use me instead. What should we have me do? So we have me as a... Now I'm not facing the camera in this photo, so that might affect how this works. Let's say riding a motor. I wonder if it'll put This is another thing that I love. They give you 1,000 prompts, and I just paid for the apprentice version of this, so everything you see here is $12 a month. I just bought the cheapest version of it that was there. You permit. That's funny. Well, maybe next time, using me this time. But they have this ability to do an improved prompt, and the AI will actually look at your prompt and add to it. So you just saw, now it changed it to a rugged, weather-beaten biker speeds down in the open highway. His leather-clad figure, a symbol of freedom and rebellion. The scene is captured in an awe-inspiring painting with the sunlight glinting off the chrome of his bike and casting a golden halo around him. So up here, I can pick the different like presets for style. They have stock photography, portrait perfect, lifelike vision, lightning, which is fast, Kino, which is their main, then you got anime, and there's a few different versions in here that they have. But I'm just gonna do 1:1, contrast, medium. There's different versions in here too for presets. I personally think just leaving it on dynamic tends to help. Make a pic of you with stars and a whirl flowing around your head. After I do this one, I absolutely will. So I can do as many images as I want, and then down here in advanced, I can, you know, pick a different model if I want to. If I want it to be photoreal, high quality finishing, more photorealistic. I could have negative prompts if I want, which means this is the stuff I don't want in the photo. This will help when you like, say you generate a photo and it just keeps like giving you something you don't want in the photo. Like say you're making a photo of a beach and you don't want any crabs on the beach, but every single time you generate a photo, there's a crab on the beach. Now I would say you could just like inpaint and get rid of the crab, which I could show you to do in a different video. But also what you could do is just turn on negative prompt, which I'm blocking with my big ass head. Hold on. Where am I? Gone is where I am. Negative prompt right here. And then that will give me the ability to write something below here that I don't want. But I'm much more of a, I don't know. I'm much more into just getting what I want and then inpainting and changing the photo that I currently have instead of constantly generating more photos. Because that's like so time consuming. It's easier to find, like, I'll show you guys an example. Because I was generating some photos earlier. So I've been working on Serpentine. What is this? Oh my God, why does it do that? Go full screen. So this is a photo of a mermaid underwater, right? If I wanted a boat right here, I love the composition of how she's swimming up and stuff. Her mermaid tail, I would prefer to be split, especially for continuity, like consistency. If she's got a split mermaid tail in all of the other shots, and then in this shot she doesn't, you'd be like, that's not the same character, right? So I have to make that split. So what I would do is take this into Photoshop and circle her tail, and then keep randomizing, generate fill until I get a mermaid tail that looks like I want it to look, right? And believe it or not, even in the beta of Photoshop right now, generative fill has the ability to use reference images, which I played around with, and that's just nuts. Because basically, if I go back to my Hangout here, you see this TV back here with these books. This whole TV unit was generated with generative fill with AI. And I actually went on the internet and found a television box that was in someone's wall that looked old fashioned that I liked. And I fed this in with my prompt into Photoshop, and it generated it in the wall like that, which is nuts because now I can go, okay, I want her mermaid tail to always look the same, right? And then I can consistently get the same mermaid tail by giving it a reference of what that looks like. So that's the route I would normally go. They do have in-painting here on Leonardo as well. But what we're going to do now is just click generate. We're going to spend our 16 coins. We have a lot. Like I said, you get 150 a day for free. So to think I just am generating 4 images here and I'm getting 150 for free every day. I don't know how many images that ends up being, but $12 a month gives you 8,500. So that's a lot. And access to like all the other features. Okay, so that kind of looks like me, right? To a certain extent, that's me. Not completely, but a little bit, right? Now there's some other shit messed up. I don't know what's going on here with this wheel. And of course, it's going to tend to put my face in a side position because that's what I gave it as a character reference. But yeah, this is me just on a little motorcycle trip, right? Just with my hair blowing in the wind. It's not accurate because I got all my hair shaved off. Summertime and it's hot here in Southern California, and it was time for a change. So now I've got, instead of the long locks and long beard, I shortened everything up. So, but yeah, you got biker Matt here. So I could keep myself in there as a character reference. I could say I want the image guidance to be low, medium, or high. I believe I can add more than one photo in here, like you can with Midjourney. In here, it gives me a couple of different options too. Like if I want to text to image, pose to image. There's other shit that they have that isn't as common. But so I'm gonna do what Raymond said. I'm gonna do stars in a whirl flowing around my head. Flowing around. Do his head. And then what we'll do is let AI improve the prompt. So a mesmerizing vortex of twinkling constellations whirls around his regal figure. Well, I'm already excited about this. All right, let's generate it. While that's generating, try not to drop this thing. I've got something I've been wanting to try for a bit, and it is, I have an iPad that's for drawing, right? And I got this whole drawing station here. By the way, when you're seeing these styles, right? Wow, that's beautiful. When you're seeing these styles, if they're not realistic, all it would take for me to change that is just changing the pre-style to cinematic and going that way. Or I could go portrait, regenerate it. We could go make it photoreal, regenerate it again. That it's going to cost more depending on what you want. And I'm making the photos large and making 4 of them. But one thing that I do have is an iPad here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to demo another feature that this has on my iPad. And I'm going to show you guys on stream because you can actually draw and use any of this on any of like an iPhone, an Android. Leonardo has their own app. So I'm going to kind of go through that a little bit and show you guys after these generate here. Actually, I probably could just show you guys those generations. It's funny, I think they already generated. I'm just behind. If I just refresh, it should show up. So I'm seeing them in the app. There they are. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the camera with the drawing pad. Actually, we'll go back to the Hangout. Before I gotta connect this thing. This is gonna be so fun because in the future, you guys are gonna see me make a lot of really cool shit with this. Because being able to like draw on here really changes like the precision of certain compositions and certain things. Can you also share that image with me? I am working on a project and would love to use it if it's okay. The image that I'm making here of myself, or just be a little more specific. Absolutely, I'm like open to sharing everything. We'll move over now to the drawing pad. We're gonna see if this works. There it is. So I can scroll up or down. Oh my gosh, it's working. Surprise, surprise. I still got chat and everything. So now I can move my little drawing pad over here and be close. My gosh, this is fun. How fun can one thing be? So this is the app version of Leonardo. This is everything that Leonardo is on iPad. You could also do it on your iPhone. The app is just going to be a little different, but pretty much the same. You'll still have the canvas editor, the motion stuff, the models. All the models are on here. You can pick any of those. Just like I was showing you, you got your library. There's all the pictures that I was looking at of myself. Can even remix it if I wanted to, or turn it into a motion picture. So why not? We'll just generate that one into a motion picture and see what happens. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm such a technical guy that like, what's so interesting about me starting to stream for you guys and show stuff off is working with my dad, right? Like I'm always complicating stuff and he's more of like simplistic. So I'm always like, oh, we could do a stream this way or that way. So I guarantee when we shoot streams again together, because we live in different states currently, when we shoot streams together, because of all of the new shit I've learned, they are going to be like off the chain, guys. So that will be exciting because I got all this equipment and stuff too, where we could just basically shoot anywhere. Like we can live stream because of Starlink. I can actually like live stream pretty much anywhere. We would just have to get a Starlink box and we could live stream from Yellowstone Park or any of those different kinds of things, which is so cool when you think about it, for like making content. Here's a motion version of myself. So we'll click on that. This is me moving now. Pretty cool. Just a little circle of me. So Raymond, did you say the images of you in the whirlwind? I'll send this one to you as well. Feel free to use them. I kind of like, if I go back to this screen, right? I kind of like this, this one. I like look like I'm looking up. I'm like, please God, save me. So pretty funny. We'll go back to the drawing pad. So I'm going to show you guys one cool tool that you can kind of only use with a touch screen, right? And that, if I click creative or create on the bottom, you're going to see 4 separate things down here. You're going to see image generation, real-time canvas, canvas editor, and motion. I'm going to go to real-time canvas, and I've showed this off before, but basically what this allows me to do, I want to start over. So we're going to get rid of this. And we're going to use Ham's prompt. So basically what this allows me to do is type a prompt in here. And I can do a pig eating cupcakes, like I did last time. And then pick my style. So here's a bunch of different styles that exist. I got anime, concept art, fantasy art, painting. I want it to be a painting. Let's do that. And now you guys are going to watch me try my best to draw a pig eating cupcakes, which is, wish me luck. So I start drawing on the right, and then on the left, what's going to happen is AI is going to start making something based off of my composition of where I'm drawing things. So if I draw a body here, this is our pig's body, right? We're getting a pig there. I draw little feet, little head. It's funny because like I'm almost gonna use the other pig as a reference for my pig, even though it's like in real time. But it just goes to show how little amount of creativity. Damn, oh no, not the pig again. Yeah, a little amount of drawing capabilities and creativity you need to make like a good composition or something. Like always, I could step back from any of these, right? Go back to the beginning. I could change any of the settings up here. I can make the canvas a landscape or change the background, the creativity strength, or the guidance of what it's going to do with the prompt, right? Up here, I could switch it to the canvas editor, change a couple of things. Everything you see on the bottom here, by the way, this drawing pad, this is more of like an iPad thing. So that's not going to exist for everybody, but this basically allows me to like kind of change what I want over there. Real-time canvas is something that only exists if you're a paid member. So everything you saw happened after I picked my pen up, right? So if I'm drawing on this, well, the moment I stop drawing is when it will generate on the left. But with real-time canvas, it will generate as I'm drawing. So watch this. Now, when I try to draw a pig, right? You're gonna see things happen way faster. This is funny because this is like not even close to a cupcake, right? Like I said, you do not have to be good at any of this, right? So as I'm doing this, not only will I get something on the left, and this is normally not the way that I would do it. Normally what I would probably do is I'd inpaint, and this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, but I would take a photo that I had already rendered, right? So I would do an in-paint prompt and say fireworks, right? I would take a photo I already generated with Midjourney, with ChatGPT, even with Leonardo, and I would put the photo in here like I already have the pig on the right, and then I would fix things. So if I wanted fireworks in this photo now, I would just try my best to draw some, right? And that's what I kind of meant by, see, it's not going to take the ones on the bottom because it's like fireworks don't go on the floor like that. So now I could take any photo basically, and if I wanted, say, like a moon up here, I could draw moonlight and then cascade it, or sunlight, cascade it down on my pig. And what you'll actually see to a certain extent, especially when you do this with in-painting, is you'll actually be able to like change the lighting of a shot, which is insane. And you can do this all on your phone. Like I said, you don't have to have real-time canvas to do any of that. You can shut that off and make a change and then wait, and then it will render the change. It doesn't have to happen in real time. And you have access to that for free. So once you're done with any of those things, you can switch to the canvas editor. And as I do that, it's going to give me a bunch of different, they have so many tutorials on here too, which is great. I love that about this site. But basically, once I'm in the canvas editor, this will allow me to change a bunch of other things. I actually think this pig turned out quite cute, right? So if I draw a mask over this area, right? And then I could enter a prompt, and then I could just tell the AI to generate me something. So let's generate, need my keyboard here. Where's my keyboard? There it is. Let's do moonlight. So you'll see that area that I've highlighted should, that wasn't a moon, right? But I have 4 options. So I can go through my 4 separate options. And if I hit cancel right now, believe it or not, it's not actually going to use any of my tokens. So I can keep generating. And then if I don't see any that I like necessarily, I can just keep going through and then be like, that's the moon that I want, right? And then hit accept. And now I've got the moon that I want in that photo. So it's just that easy. And all of this stuff that I've shown you guys with Leonardo in the second half of this stream, you could do all of this on your phone or iPad while you're sitting down watching TV, right? So you could be like, oh, I want to draw this or that, or you could go back to image generation, right? And I could click on create and instead go to motion and upload any photos that I have and give them motion, right? Or use some of the photos that I've already created. Image generation, I could type my prompt. I could click up here for recent generations and click, you know, the same one that I already did and click copy the prompt and go back, right? Paste it in there and just redo. I could click on that photo and just reprompt it as well, but go through different styles. Any of the ones that say Alchemy V2 on them are going to be the better ones, you know, because they're just the more trained ones. So I recommend using Lightning or Kino for like more realistic stuff, or SDXL is something that I use often too. Anime or Vision, if you're trying to go for more of a style that is animated or more realistic. And then just make sure you have Alchemy on if you are using one of those. You can pick your number of images. You can pick whether you want them to be certain dimensions. Some of these are you could pick either by the pixel size or by the aspect ratio. The ratios I would recommend are 16:9. 16:9 is going to be like a normal cinematic format. 9:16 is going to be more of like a shorts format. You know, 5:4 and some of those other ones aren't used as much on social media. So, and then 1:1 is going to be more of like a Instagram box like format. So yeah, those different formats you can pick and change through. You can turn on photoreal. So photoreal is a powerful pipeline designed to help you create everything from cinematics and requires alchemy. I would say put photoreal on pretty much any time. Let me see what the link is actually for Samsung for that, since you just asked. Just because I'm a helpful guy. Leonardo app Android. I'll just link you right to it because why not? If it exists. So it looks like, surprisingly enough, it does not look like they have an Android app, which blows my mind. I'm sure they will at some point, but I would say that their website probably works just fine on Android. I don't have an Android phone to test it, but I would just go to Leonardo.AI on the on your phone, like in your Google Chrome browser or your Safari browser or something, and see if it shows up similar. Because believe it or not, a lot of apps are just built on the framework of one of those in a web browser like way. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. So yeah, that honestly is Leonardo.ai. You can go check out the tool, download the app, try it out, try to make your stuff. Yeah, it would be on Windows 11. Like if you just go to Leonardo.ai, and I'll link it again up here. Actually, if you guys wanted to do me a huge favor, I'll link this to you guys, because if you're gonna sign up for this, if you guys sign up with my affiliate link, which is right here, instead, I think we both get stuff out of it. I think I get some credits and you get some credits. So definitely use my affiliate link to sign up for a Leonardo account. You just use your Google account or anything, but definitely use that link to sign up, so we both get free shit out of it, right? Why not? And you're benefiting the channel and benefiting what I'm doing here. So I really appreciate that as well. So with that said, I'm going to go back to the Hangout here, move all this stuff out of the way so I don't trip over it. My corgis can come in and attack me once again. Rue's already looking at me. She's like, oh, it's go time. Exit out of all of this, scooch my way back. So what did everybody think? How's everybody doing? You know, I think I've kind of gone over everything I want to today. I'll go ahead and post those pictures and stuff in like an imagery link or Google Drive, and I'll send it over to you. Or I'll just post the links in the Imaginators chat to go find all this stuff. But with that said, thank you guys so much for being on here. Thank you for being on here on Saturday with me and spending your Saturday with me the last couple of hours. I really love and appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting me on this journey. If you do want to support the channel or donate in any way, unfortunately, I don't have any like ad stuff set up. I'm still building this YouTube channel to get ad revenue. So right now I'm just doing all this for free, which I don't mind. I always want to create content for you guys for free. But if you do want to donate to the channel in any way, in chat below in the description, you'll find a donation link. Any of those donations that you donate are going into making the channel better, doing more of this, improving it. And like I said, my long-term goal of eventually getting infinite variants and all these things out so we can help more people tell their stories in better ways. Thank you guys once again. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a stream tomorrow because we have the Imaginators call planned. If you guys don't know anything about that, look up the Robert Hollis channel on YouTube on here, and you should see the ability to look those things up. I think it's like roberthollis.com/join if you want to hop on those, but you have to be a paid member. It's like $5 a month. And a lot of that goes to charity as well. But if you want to hop on there with us tomorrow and talk more about these tools and how to do those things, you could definitely do that just by going to roberthollis.com/join. I'm going to say one more thank you just because I'm so excited and I love and appreciate you guys so much, but I hope you have a great weekend and I'll update you guys when I have another stream. Thanks again. Talk to you later. Bye.